welcome back to another episode of Focus Point Facebook Live. My name is Vivian, I'm an optometrist by profession. So today we're actually going to share with you about the ABCs of kids vision management. So before we begin, thank you very much for those of you who are watching. Please help us to like and share this Facebook Live post so more people are aware and can join us. And please remember, if you have any questions, you can leave in the comment box below and I will try my best to answer them. Okay, so do stay tuned also because today we have very exciting prizes to be given away. So help us to like and share this post with more of your friends and family. Hi Kaushilia, hi Josephine. Okay, so today we're actually going to talk about kids vision management. And it's very interesting because 2/3 of our brain function is associated with our vision. And for young child, when they are born as babies, right? When they are born, the vision is actually something like a pattern of light and dark patterns. So they cannot actually see very well. And their vision will slowly develop as they grow up. So this development is very important because it will help them to have ability to learn and also to have a better eye health in terms of the eye development. Okay, so how does vision develop? It is actually through a lot of interaction and also exposure to the environment. And this vision can help them to see a whole new world, have new experiences and achieve new milestones in life. For children, their vision actually gets stronger every year. And this is very important because this improved vision is needed as the child will explore the world as he or she grows up. So the developing eye can actually learn to do many new things. So number one is what we call the focusing ability or what we call as accommodation. So focusing ability, just imagine if you have a digital camera. So if you want to take a photo, right? Remember how the camera will auto focus, like come in and out of focus, and then the image will become clear. So you can either focus far or focus near. The same thing works for our eyes. So we actually have this autofocus ability built in. And as we age from babies to maybe toddler stage, this will start to develop. And the next thing that we need to see is actually the ability to see things in 3D or what we call depth perception. So depth perception is very, very important. Have you ever watched a 3D movie? If you have watched a 3D movie before, comment yes in the comment box below. So when we are watching a 3D movie, right, you know, sometimes instead of a normal movie, the images seem to be popping out and give a very 3D effect. So that is what we call as depth perception. The ability to judge distance, near and far. So if you are driving a car today, you need to reverse into the car park. You will need to have this depth perception to estimate how far more you can go. Or if you are going down the staircase, right, you will need this 3D vision to tell you how far more to step or how big is each step. So these are all very important eye function. The other one will be tracking. So tracking, which means the ability of our eyes to follow a moving target. So just imagine that is a mosquito flying past. So I'm actually following the mosquito's movement with my eyes. So this is what we call as tracking. And last but not least, another important function is convergence, which means both eyes will focus together on a near object at the same time. The use of both eyes together. So these are all very important things that needs to happen during the eye and vision development stage. So some of the questions that I've actually collected before this session are quite interesting. So that's why I would like to share with those of you who are watching. So number one question is, what can a baby see? Okay, so for baby, right, when they are born, initially the vision is quite poor, to be honest. So they may not be able to see your faces. So as they are growing up, they will slowly gain this ability to see faces at closer range. And about 6 weeks time, right, a baby's eye should be able to follow object. And by about 4 months, the baby eyes will learn to work together, which means both eyes, left and right, will start to work together. By the first or second year, the vision develops very rapidly. So this is the stage where, you know, we are expecting a lot of vision and eye development. And a 2-year-old generally has about the same vision as an adult. So that's something that's very interesting, right? Wow, a lot of people watch 3D movie, huh? Next time, share with me what are the good movies to watch. So another question that I've received is, what are the signs of poor vision in a child? Because we know for children or even for toddlers, sometimes they are not good in communicating. They can't actually tell you, I'm not seeing things clearly, or I'm seeing shadows, or I'm having headache. They can't express themselves so clearly. So what they will do is they will actually compensate, and this compensation will be reflected in their body behavior, their body language. So as parents or as nursery or kindergarten teachers, it is very important that we pay some attention to the body behavior of young child or young kids, so we can recognize some of the symptoms of vision issues. So number one, if you notice if any eye, either the right or left eye, is turning or crossing, which means it is facing in a different direction, the other eye may not see as well. And this is what we call a strabismus. And another condition that can be found in young kids is what we call a jiggly eyes. Sometimes you can observe when I'm looking straight, my eyes are actually quite stable. But for some people, right, they will tend to move, or it will look like small vibrations. So this is what we call as a nystagmus. So this can also be observed by looking at the body behavior or by the eye movement. If your child is not interested in looking at age-appropriate toys, colors, this could also be a sign that maybe they are not seeing things so clearly. So vision problems at a young age can easily lower interest in close activities such as reading, coloring, or even playing with toys. Because you just imagine if the child is not able to see all these colors or all these beautiful coloring pages, he or she may not be so interested in these activities. Another common sign is sitting very close up to a TV or a digital device. Say for example, now I'm actually having my iPad is here. So you may notice some young child will go very close. It may be a sign that their vision is not that clear, and the only way they can compensate for this is to move closer to whatever that they are looking at. Vision problems can also cause kids to squint. So doing this, okay, so they're squinting very hard. They can be rubbing their eyes very often, be very sensitive to light, or tilt their head when they are looking at something. They are always looking at things in a particular head position, or for some kids, they even cover one eye. Okay, so these are all signs of a body language or body behavior that parents can actually look out for. Another thing that you can also detect some abnormal vision or some difficulties in eye or hand coordination is actually during some physical activities. So let's say if your child is playing throwing ball at each other. Okay, so if you notice that the one child always has difficulty catching the ball, so he or she may also have some vision issues. He or she may not be seeing things very clearly, and it's time to bring him or her in for a thorough eye checkup. So these are some of the signs and symptoms of poor vision in a child. Hi everyone, hi Keith, hi Jasmine, hi Zoe. So for those of you who are watching, if you have any questions, please remember, leave in the comment box below. Okay, and then the next question is, I have a 7-year-old daughter and she passed a vision screening at school. Does she still need an eye exam? Okay, so to this question, I'm going to answer yes. She should still have a comprehensive eye examination, because when the vision screenings are done in school, normally it's to identify some gross vision problems. It's targeting how well you can see, and it's a rough estimation of whether this child will need vision correction or not. So it could be an indicator of whether he or she has myopia, hyperopia, or astigmatism. However, in this vision screening, some of the eye conditions cannot be detected. Say for example, just now when we talk about how some of the eye move around, the motor function of the eye, or the eye and brain connection, all these will actually need further testing, and this is not something that vision screening in school can do. So it is still very important to bring your child in for an annual eye examination. So let me see. Oh, your first 3D movie was Rio. I think, Kaushila, I remember Rio. It's the one, I think with birds, right? I think I really enjoyed that movie also. And Jasmine is saying that, she's wondering why the kid is always reading the book so closely. Other than reading very closely, right, sometimes, like my friend, her son has issue of reading the same line. So what happened is the book will be positioned in a very odd angle, and he will be reading like jumping line. So he is not able to actually read from the same line. So this is also something that can be related to the vision development. So if you notice things like this, right, always bring your child in for thorough eye examination by optometrist. And the next question is very relevant. How to protect children's eyes from digital learning? Okay, so first and foremost, I would like to take this chance to stress that digital devices, iPad, handphone, or even TV, they do not cause vision issues. The actual reason for these vision issues or myopia progression is the improper use of digital devices. So I believe that, when we are talking about preventing damage to our child's eyes or vision when it comes to digital devices, it is very important that we communicate clearly to your kids, what is the function of digital devices. Okay, I have a close friend. I think her son is about 9 years old and is also doing a lot of digital learning. So, I watch her Instagram story, so she'll be posting, okay, today her son has Zoom classes and then tuition and can even learn Taekwondo using Zoom. Okay, so as we are progressing to a very digital lifestyle, right? It is not possible to tell the child that, hey, you cannot use digital devices. Instead, parents should communicate and teach the child the right way to use. So we must instill the good belief and good practice. So number one, you must let them understand that, some educational apps or some learning tools can be found in iPad. Okay, so these are not harmful. However, when you are using iPad, right, please make sure that you are taking regular breaks. So a very good rule to follow is for every 20 minutes that you spend looking at a digital device, you have to take 20 seconds break and look at something that is 20 feet or that's about 6 meters away. So for young children, it is very hard for them to remember, whether it has been 20 minutes or even longer than that. So what the parents can do is you can set a small alarm, and instead of punishing the child or punishing the kids for overusing these digital devices, another way that can be done is reward them. So for example, you could reward them in order to earn a 20-minute screen time. You must make sure that you tidy up your bedroom every day. You must make your own bed. Okay, so instead of punishing them, you make them earn the points. And you always give them like maybe 20 minutes of screen time. So it's easier for you to monitor and to teach them how to use these digital devices in the right way. And also, you can communicate to them about some of the other functions. I know right now, due to the current pandemic, we are not encouraged to go outdoors. But outdoors activity has been proven, or exposure to outdoor activity has been proven to be able to actually reduce or slow down myopia progression. So one of my suggestions is when this pandemic is over, when you bring your child outdoors, one way to encourage them to do some outdoor activities is you can also teach them, right? Some digital devices can be used outdoors, such as photography. Okay, you can let them take a photo using the digital devices and teach them to use these digital devices in the smart and right way. So it can be done by very effective communication and also monitoring. So parents, you should also lead by example. Because you imagine, if you are not doing this 20-20-20 rule yourself, but you are asking your son to follow. So for kids nowadays, they are very clever. They may actually try to challenge you back. Papa, you say not to use the laptop for more than 20 minutes, but you have been on the laptop for 4 hours. Okay, so it's very important that as parents, we also lead by example and we also talk to children to teach them the responsibilities. So this is much better than punishing them. Don't use the iPad, it's bad for you. Don't watch the TV, it's bad for your eyes. Actually, if you watch the TV from the right distance, it actually does not really impact the child's vision or the myopia progression. So everything should be done in moderation. Okay, so I hope that will actually answer some of the questions that you have. Okay, let me see. Okay, do we have any questions? If you have any questions, please remember leave in the comment box below and I will try to answer. Yeah. Okay, so before we move on to the next question, let me just announce today's giveaway. So for today, we actually have 3 pairs of frame to give away. And this frame is worth 138 ringgit each. So if you want to win this frame, all you need to do is like, share our Facebook Live post, tag 3 friends in the comment box below, and share with us what was the age or when did you start wearing glasses and your experience with wearing glasses. Okay, so while waiting for your answers to come in, I'm going to continue to actually share with you some of the questions that I've collected before this Facebook Live session. Also, Natsi say hi. Hi Natsi, thank you for always watching. Okay, remember, tag 3 friends. Okay, the next question I'm actually going to discuss about is very common. Does reading while lying down increases myopia? Okay, so when you are in a lying down position, okay, so for example, if you're on your bed and you are lying down, and when you are reading, right, this will actually cause more strain on the muscles. So we have muscles that's inside the eyeball, and you also have muscles that's outside the eyeball. The ones that's outside the eyeball will actually control the eye movement, how the eye is moving. So when you are reading at a lying down position, okay, just imagine, okay, let me just show you. Imagine if I'm lying down, I won't be holding my reading material so far, okay? I will tend to hold it very close to my eyes. So that is going to cause more strain because we take a lot more effort to look at things that is near comparing to things that are further away. So when you have this long-term habit of reading while lying down, right, and you are reading things at a shorter distance, what could happen is your angle of viewing is off already. This is the recommended reading distance and angle, and you are reading like that, okay? So the angle of viewing is changed, and this could cause some eye strain issues. So when you have a long-term eye strain going on, you may have blurring of vision. Some people who are more sensitive can develop headache, neck pain, or even some dizziness. So please make sure if you need to read, try not to read when you are lying down. Although it does not significantly or directly increases your myopia, it does cause eye strain. Okay. Okay, so we have a question from Kaushilia. What is the best solution for a kid who is wearing glasses but unable to see the words at the blackboard, even though the words already wrote in big font? The kid always prefer to write in paper. Okay, so actually there are many reasons that this thing can happen. So I'm going to show you and share with you some of the questions that could be related to this. Okay, let me see. This question came in, and this could be connected or related to what Kaushida is asking. So this question actually came in to me and asked, my child was diagnosed with lazy eye. Can this be treated, and if so, what are the options? Okay, so first and foremost, let us go through a bit what is amblyopia. So amblyopia is commonly called lazy eye. So it's when one of the eye, or sometimes in very rare cases both eyes, but most of the time it's one eye only. So when vision in one eye, it does not develop properly during childhood, what we will do is, because this weaker eye does not have a strong connection with the brain function, so the brain will automatically use the other stronger eye as a dominant image. So you are using the stronger eye more, and as this progresses, right, your weaker eye will continue to become weak. So for long term, the brain may be relying on the other eye more to see things. And when this happens, this weaker eye, even if you put glasses or if you put power in front of the eye, right, it may not be able to see clearly. So this is what we call as amblyopia or lazy eye. So it could be one of the reasons why even for some kids when they are already wearing glasses, full correction, but one eye does not seem to be able to read so clearly. So a lot of people will also ask, so what happens when we have this lazy eye or amblyopia? So amblyopia actually most of the time starts in childhood, and it's quite common as a cause of vision loss in kids. But however, the good news is if you are able to detect this amblyopia at an earlier age, right, there are vision therapy that can be done for this to actually be overcome or to be managed. So which is why it is very important that you bring your kids for an annual eye examination. So if there is any chance of this happening, we are able to detect at an earlier stage. And the symptoms of amblyopia, right, sometimes can be quite hard to notice. So one of the telltale sign is poor depth perception, which means this child may not have a very good 3D vision. In order to have 3D vision, both eyes must be able to function optimally. And let's say, imagine if one eye, right, is compromised, what we call as the weaker eye. So this can affect the 3D vision. So this child, if you put 3D goggles when you watch a 3D movie, he or she may not be able to tell the 3D effect, okay, or he or she may feel it's very strainful for the eyes. Some of the symptoms of amblyopia, it's like squinting, closing one eye, or tilting the head. So sometimes imagine, they know that one eye is stronger than the other. So instead of having a not so clear vision, what I need to do is I just need to cover the weaker eye and just use one eye, which is the stronger eye, to see. So these are all some signs that we can observe. And in many cases, right, parents actually don't realize that their child has amblyopia until they bring them in for an eye examination. So this is something that we should be very much aware of, and that's why vision screening and vision examination, a comprehensive one, is very, very important for children. Okay, and then we have a question coming in. How to know if my child has potential vision problem? Okay, so it really depends on how old your child is. So let's say if your child is maybe at a school age, maybe 7 and above, so there is a higher tendency that it's easier to notice, or he or she may even be able to tell you that Papa or Mama, I cannot see so clearly, I cannot see the blackboard. So like just now we have discussed, okay, let me just go back. Okay, so some of the things that you can actually look out for, right, is like are they having any issues reading at near or reading the blackboard? So other than asking the child, you can also do some check-ins with the teacher, okay, to find out whether there's any issues or if there's any change in body behavior. So are they squinting? Are they sitting very close to the digital device or the TV? Are they holding their books very close? Or when they do homework, right, do they have to move very close to the book to write? So these are all some behavior changes that can indicate that there's a vision issue or there's a problem with their eyes that they can't seem to tell you. So I hope that answers your question. And there's another question that comes in, does astigmatism and myopia get worse as we age? Okay, so this, let me see, how should I answer this question? It really depends. Okay, so I understand that astig and myopia, this is something that is very commonly asked, especially in Asian countries, because Asians, we are more prone to getting myopia, and we have a higher chance of developing high myopia. So if you are talking about myopia, right, In recent years, more and more studies have been done, or more and more research has been done in terms of myopia progression management. Okay, so why you want to actually manage this myopia? It's actually because, right, although myopia by itself is not dangerous, but it does increase the risk of some eye diseases, for example, cataract, for example, retina detachment, or myopic macular degeneration. So myopia or short-sightedness, when it reaches a very severe stage, let's say a high myopia over let's say a period of 10 years or more, it could increase the risk of all these eye diseases, which is why we are recommending myopia control. So myopia control, right, like the name suggests, it's actually something that helps you to slow down myopia progression, and it is normally done as a program and not a product. So when we say it's done in a program, that means you cannot just buy a pair of glasses for myopia progression control, put it on, and then expect the power to go down or to reverse the power. So it doesn't work like that. So what myopia control program can do is it helps to slow down the progression of myopia. So the power may still increase, but it increases in a slighter way. So it's not so much and it's not so fast. So that is what we hope to achieve. And like I mentioned, because we are doing as a program, so we also need to incorporate some healthy living habits, some good eye hygiene habits, other than just buying or purchasing the product alone. So let me give an example. If your child is already wearing what we call as myopia control lenses, the glasses that can help to slow down the progression of myopia, but he's not taking care of his lifestyle habits, which means that he is still going very close up to the TV, he is still using computer or digital devices for an extended period of time without taking break. Okay, so it may not work so well. So a good program, right, will include the right recommendation and the right use of the product, okay, good vision habits, adequate monitoring, which means every few months, okay, every 6 months or so, this child on a myopia control program will need to come in for another further appointment for us to assess what is the progression like. So this normally is done over a period of few years. So if your child, or if you are interested to put your child on a myopia control program, so I would like to take this chance to inform everybody, you may not see results immediately. So this is a long-term thing. So the main aim is actually to slow down the progression of myopia, to prevent any risk or to lessen the risk of eye diseases that is associated with high myopia. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. And the next question that we have is, can wearing glasses cause dark eye circles? That's very interesting. I don't think so, because normally I don't really wear glasses, but I still have dark eye circles. No, I'm joking. So no research has shown that glasses wearing is associated with dark eye circles. So in fact, dark eye circles, it could be caused by many other reasons. It could be caused by poor blood circulation around the eyes area. So if you have not been sleeping well, if you have not been sleeping enough, or even for people with sinus issues, so the circulation may be affected. So these people will tend to develop dark eye circles. So it's not directly associated with glasses wear. Okay, so let me see. Wow, we have a lot of feedback, I think, for the giveaway. So for those of you who just joined us, and if you are wondering what is the giveaway today, we are actually giving away 3 pairs of frame that is worth 138 ringgit each. So in order to win this frame, right, all you need to do is like, share our Facebook live post, tag 3 friends in the comment, and share with us when did you start wearing glasses and your experience with glasses. Okay, so I hope you help me to tag and share to more friends. Hi, Tai Shen. Nice to see you here. If you have any questions, you can also feel free to leave in the comment box. Okay, so another question is, Does wearing glasses or contact lens make you dependent on them? Okay, so this is also something that a lot of parents are very concerned about. When I was still in practice, and if I recommend prescription to young children, let's say for example, if this is their first pair of glasses, more often than not, the parents will be very concerned. Do I need to let them wear glasses? What if they are very dependent on the glasses? So how vision correction works, whether it is a pair of glasses or contact lens, is very simple. If you are myopic, short-sighted, and you wear glasses or contact lens that correct, while you are wearing these glasses or contact lens, you can see. But if you remove, you can't see. So it will not make you dependent on them. If you have any prescription, it is very important for you to maintain this vision correction or to use the vision correction to avoid overstraining your eyes and ensure that you have a clear and comfortable vision. Okay. So, okay, the next question, right? My daughter has very high myopia in one eye and she is diagnosed with lazy eyes. She just received her glasses and one lens is much thicker than the other. She's complaining that the glasses make her dizzy and she won't wear them. Can anything be done about this? Okay, wow. It's a very good question. Okay, so number one, okay, this question also mentioned amblyopia or lazy eyes. So when one eye needs a much stronger vision correction than the other, if it's a myopia patient or a customer, right, it is possible that one side of the lenses will appear thicker than the other. Of course, when we are prescribing this correction to you, we will try our best to recommend something that is like what we call high index, okay, to help to make the lens thinner and help to balance the thickness between right and left lens. However, if one eye, the power is really very high, very much different from the other eye, it is entirely possible that even though we use the best high index lens possible, there will still be differences in terms of thickness. So when this thing happen, right, unequal lens power in the glasses sometimes can cause different image size that is seen between right and left eye. So when the brain tries to read the image, right, one image is big, one image is small, it cannot really fuse together. So that is why for people with a very big power difference in both eyes, what we call anisometropia, every time they change to a pair of new glasses, they actually need more time to adapt to it. So the brain will also need to readjust to how the vision is like for each eye and be able to coordinate with both eyes at the same time. So sometimes some dizziness or some discomfort can happen. So another option to using glasses is if you have this kind of anisometropia or this kind of condition, you can consider contact lenses. Contact lenses, number one, in terms of appearance, because we know sometimes because it didn't mention that how old is the daughter. So if the daughter is approaching like teenage years, she may be more concerned about how it looks like, how the glasses look like. So what can be done is contact lens could be considered as an option. They have a better look cosmetically, so you can't really tell whether contact lens, there's no lens thickness. Okay, and the second thing is there is not so much issue with different size image in each eye if you are wearing contact lenses. So sometimes it may be more comfortable with people with this condition to wear contact lenses. So I understand that some parents may also be concerned, can children actually handle contact lenses? So we actually discussed about this in Facebook live session. I think it's about 2 weeks ago. So if you're interested, do remember to also watch that episode. For young children, they can wear contact lenses as long as they are able to accept and also to learn the new responsibility of using and also caring for contact lenses. So there are also some daily disposables that's available in the market. So if you are concerned about whether your child is able to maintain the hygiene or care for the contact lens in the right manner, you could also give one-day disposables a try. So whenever you want to try any new product, right, it is still recommended that you bring your child in make an appointment, see our optometrist or optician, so we can actually give the recommendation based on the individual's needs and also requirement. So that will be better. Well, I see there's a lot of sharing. So Zoe is saying that, started to wear glasses at the age of 14. For myself, right, just to share with you all, I started wearing glasses, if I'm not mistaken, standard 2 is about 8 years old. So what happened is I really envy my friends who were wearing glasses, okay? And somehow, when we were young, right, there was this unspoken myth that kids who wear glasses are more intelligent or more smart. So that's why I saw a lot of my friends are wearing glasses. So somehow I really wanted to wear glasses, and guess what? My wish came true. At 8 years old, I started wearing glasses, and my myopia or short-sightedness was actually very high, and my astigmatism was very high, and wearing glasses was getting a bit too troublesome. So in the end, I switched to contact lens, and eventually I actually done LASIK on my eyes. So that is, my own journey when I started wearing glasses and my own experience. Josephine is asking, seeing greenery will help to improve our vision. Okay, so this is also a very good question. So when we're looking at something that is green and of a certain distance away, this actually helps to relax the focusing power or focusing effort of our eyes. So when your eyes are more relaxed, right, you may actually feel better. So this is also why sometimes your optometrist or your opticians may advise you, if you do a lot of computer or near work, after 20 minutes, okay, take a 20-second break, look at something far or look at something green if it's possible. So this will help to relax your accommodation or relax the focusing effort. Wow, most of you are started wearing glasses in teenage years, huh? But I do realize that nowadays, right, the age of starting to wear glasses or contact lenses is actually getting younger and younger. So we have a lot of parents who bring their child in, the kids in, and maybe preschool age, 6 or 7 years old, and these children already have quite high myopia or astigmatism. So this is also something that, it's getting very worrying for some patients or for some parents. So which is why if you are having kids, about that age, before they start school, before the age of 7, it is advisable that you bring your child in, book an appointment so that we can do a comprehensive vision check for them and to check on the eyes function as well. Wow, a lot of answers coming in, huh? Let's see who will win. So help me to like and share, tag 3 friends. Too much time working in front of laptop. I see. That's why I mentioned, for the lifestyle nowadays, right, you really can't say that, you know what, I don't want my power to increase, so I don't want to use laptop, I don't want to use digital device. It's something that is not so possible. So what we must do is we must learn to actually use digital device in a more responsible manner and to use in the right way. Okay, let me see, do we have any more questions coming in? I see, there's one question. For young kids, they should be given a lower prescription, right? Actually, no. Under correction, number 1, it does not give the best vision clarity, which means in terms of clear vision, if you are under corrected, you may not be able to see so clearly, and this may actually cause more eye strain in the long term. And for children especially, because they are at that age where the vision is starting to develop, so we always make sure that we are correcting both eyes. Make sure that they have a very clear but still comfortable vision, so their eyes can develop, their vision can develop well. And recent studies have actually shown if you go for an under correction, which means you give a lower power than what is required, it actually can cause more elongation of the eyeball. So it may actually speed up the progression of myopia. So there are actually many better ways to manage myopia rather than under correction. So if you're interested to know more, our optometrist will be very happy to assist you. Okay, so do give our outlet a call, and our eye care practitioners can help to give you a more personalized consultation. And the next question that we have here is how to get my daughter to wear glasses. Okay, so when we are talking to children, right, when I was still in practice, I always make sure that, if, let's say for example, your daughter, it's her first time wearing glasses, it's very, very important that she's involved in the whole process. So for the eye care practitioner, we will always communicate with the child, we will explain, why you need to wear glasses. And when she's choosing the frame, we always take her opinion. So instead of the practitioner just talk to the parents and the child is just listening at the side, we try to involve the child as much as possible. So we also explain to her, now you may not be able to see so clearly. So I'm actually going to do some testing for you, and this testing is not painful. We are just going to ask you to read out some alphabets or some numbers on the chart. Okay, just read out what you can read, so there is no right or no wrong. Okay, so it's very important to tell them that there's no right or wrong. Nothing that they say is a mistake. So we try to explain to them the whole process. And for younger kids, sometimes we even show them, instead of reading ABC or 1, 2, 3, there are also some child-friendly charts that can be used during the eye test session. So during the eye test, we will also make sure that we invite Papa or Mama to come inside the room so that the child is more assured, so not so anxious. Just imagine that if you are a young child and you are asked to go inside to a room with a stranger, Gogo or Jeje that you don't know, and you're expected to read out alphabets. So sometimes the kid can get very scared. So it's very important to reassure them. And of course, what I like to do is also, I will just tell them, you know what, if you listen to what Jeje say, okay, read out the words, read out the alphabets. At the end, I'm going to give you a candy or a lollipop. So try to make them feel like this is a very child-friendly environment instead of something that's very scary. So sometimes when we don't involve the child, right, the child may feel like, oh, this is very scary. Checking the eyes, is it painful? Is there pain? What if I cannot see? Will I be punished? So it's very important to make them know about this. And of course, we have a lot of children books that are designed to actually teach children about the function of the eyes, and also some books that can actually help them to get used to the idea of wearing glasses. And there are also some cartoon, like I've mentioned before, Upin and Ipin. So they also try to use a cartoon way to tell kids what is it like if you have, like for example, a vision issue like a myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, and you need to wear glasses. Because for young kids, sometimes we do understand, if they go to school with new glasses, sometimes they may be scared that what if my friends make fun of me, what if I get bullied. So it's very important that even after choosing the lenses, choosing the frame, after collecting the glasses, Papa and Mama, you all still must have frequent communication with the kids. So if you notice that any of the kids is not wearing the glasses because he or she is facing this kind of peer pressure, it is still good to talk to them about the reason why they need to wear glasses. And of course, if they grow up and they do not want to wear glasses anymore, they are old enough to learn new responsibility, there are also many other options that can help them. For example, like contact lenses. So I've also mentioned before, for active children, right, sometimes they may not want to wear glasses, or if they are very active in sports or in gymnastics, for example, wearing glasses may be troublesome. So we can also consider prescribing contact lens to children. But whether every child is suitable or not, it really depends on our individual assessment. So in order to make sure that the prescription is suitable, the product is suitable, we will go through a very thorough eye examination. We will also do more understanding of the requirements before actually giving this prescription. Okay, so let me see. Wow, that's a lot of good feedback. Do we have the winners yet? Let me see. I think we have the winner already, right? Yes, we do. Okay, so congratulations to Zoe Tan, Amy Diana, and Zurini Sabari. So congratulations. You know, you have won yourself one pair of frame that is worth 138 ringgit. So what you need to do is, for the winners, please Facebook message us and our customer service will be more than happy to help you with the price redemption part. So congratulations again. So we're actually coming to the end of today's session. So before I end today's session, I just like to show you a visual. So this is actually a summary of what are the tips to help with parents to ensure that their child maintains a good vision. Okay, so number one, okay, so of course it's very important to have regular eye examination, like we mentioned, at least annually. So if let's say you are on any myopia control program, you may be required to come in more frequent. It could be 6 months. Every 6 months you have to come in for us to actually monitor this progression. Okay, so when you are reading at home, always make sure that reading is done in a room with good and even lighting. So it should not be too yellow or too dim. And encourage regular breaks. 20-20-20 rule will still apply regardless of whether it's near work like reading or digital device usage. So if you are doing any near work for 20 minutes, you need to take 20 seconds break and look at something that's 20 feet or 6 meters away. If your room has a window, the easiest thing to do is just look out the window. Okay, take regular breaks. And visual hygiene when it comes to digital devices. So visual hygiene is also very important. So it will include the right choice of lighting, the posture, and the recommended distance between your eyes and also your reading material or your digital devices. Try to always maintain a good posture and a good distance. Last but not least, do encourage your child to spend a few hours outdoors every day. So I understand due to the current pandemic, this may not be applicable. So this is a general tip. So it can be practiced when things get better. And of course, during any outdoor activities or even indoor activities, right, it's very important to ensure that the eyes are actually protected from UV. So for UV protection, you can go for clear lenses that comes with UV protection or sunglasses that comes with UV protection. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed today's sharing. And before I end today's session, thank you once again for watching, and I hope you will help to like and follow our Focus Point Facebook page for more updates. And do stay tuned for our coming sessions of Focus Point Facebook Live, where we bring you more information about eyes and vision care. So take care everyone. Bye-bye.